What a cracking 24 hours we've had so far, eh? It's been a cracking weekend. It'll be even a better weekend for Celtic fans if a certain result goes our way this afternoon. And I've got a good feeling for it because there's a massive St. Patrick's Day parade going on in Spain today, and it is the biggest St. Patrick's Day parade in Europe outside Ireland. But expected to be between 10 to 15,000 people there today. So good luck to everyone that's going there. You know where I'm talking about. And have a fantastic day. Anyway, we move on. We've got a poll running already. And I want to analyse four different players that have been at Celtic this season. First one is Sinisterra, Liam Scales, Colby Donovan, and Yang. Who is the most improved player this season? And I'm going to give you a breakdown of each individual player and what I think is what they've brought to the table this season. There's inconsistency, there's lack of minutes, but these four players are really important to Celtic this season. First one that we'll start off with Colby Donovan. He's came in as the right back. He's came in from the academy. He's got a lot of tick marks for that. He's been up against Tony Ralston, fighting Tony Ralston for that position. He's made himself basically number two for that position, ousting Tony Ralston, which is no mean feat. Let us be said. Any young guy coming through the system and pushing Tony Ralston down the ladder when it comes to getting game time, you've got to say, fair play to the young lad. He's played roughly around about 412 minutes of football. He's had 2 assists, and his rating on Football Mob is 6.8. For a young player breaking into the squad, mostly appearances for the bench, he's had a fantastic season so far. Absolutely brilliant season. We need to be talking up these young guys. If we want Celtic to be a team and we want players to come through the system and stay at Celtic, we need to be shouting from the gallows, from the rooftops, about the good things that are happening at Celtic. And Colby Donovan is one of those good things. Showing to the players, all these young guys that left Celtic and decided to go and see the big lights of other clubs where they got paid more money and maybe got sold for a bit more. You can have a career at Celtic. You can have a massive career at Celtic if you're prepared to just put in the hard work. And one thing for sure, Colby Donovan has done that. From academy to first team minutes, it's been a fantastic season for him. Is he your most improved player this year? It's a massive step up from playing in the Lowland League on a regular basis to playing fully fledged men's football, and he's coped with it quite well. So for me, he gets on the list. Next one up is, we'll stick with the defenders at this point. Liam Scales. The data on Liam Scales is there for all to see. He was previously considered, he was ousted by Austin Trusty. Austin Trusty was brought into Celtic to demote Liam Scales. Now, Austin Trusty's been injured this season, I get that. But Liam Scales has positioned himself as a fantastic player within the squad. His positional play has been better this year. He can play in varied positions. He's played for Ireland on the left of a back three, on the left of a midfield five. He's captained Celtic to a Glasgow Derby win. Is he your most improved player this year? Yes, there is still things in Liam Scales' game that lets him down this season. He headed it into his own net at one point this season. He's still got a bit of shirt pulling. People will pick out the bad points. But talking about where Liam Scales was after joining the club back in, 2021 or something, he come in from Ireland and he was put out to Aberdeen on loan, and everyone thought he was going back to Aberdeen. Has he improved as a player? Has he got better this season? Or is it just about composure with Liam Scales? And is that what's making him better? He's a lot more composed and the roughness seems to have come out of his game. Each game that he's played this season, he's improved just a tiny little bit. And that's all you want as a player to do. You just want gradual little increases. Because if you get a monumental increase in performance levels, it's sometimes hard to sustain that level. But what Liam Scales has done, he has come in and he's been settled in that back line. He's one of the most consistent players in the defence at the moment. He's playing with more confidence. He's playing coming up with the back. And you've got to say he's doing a lot better than he was last season. We're going to stay in and around that area because we've got Sinisalo, the goalkeeper. He's played a few games this season, and with Kasper Schmeichel out injured again for the second year in a row at this time of year, Kasper Schmeichel is out injured. It looks like Kasper Schmeichel's playing days could be over this summer if the injury to his shoulder is going to have a detrimental effect on his life after football. Sinisalo's came in, and during the run of games that he's had, the 6 matches I think it is, I think he's 4 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss, and a good few clean sheets thrown into that. He was signed as a backup keeper at the same time as Kasper Schmeichel. Towards the end of last season, he came in and replaced the injured Kasper Schmeichel. He played fantastic. Brendan Rodgers deemed it right that Sinisalo was pulled from the starting 11 for the cup final. He was pulled from the squad and in came Kasper Schmeichel. And we know how that ended. The writing was on the wall back then. But anyway, we move forward because there's a year's a long time in football and it's coming up to that year. The fact that Sinisalo was brought in as a backup keeper, has he shown you that he is more than capable of being the number 1 goalkeeper at Celtic? Not only going forward this season, but next season and going forward. I think he has. He's more assured than the experienced Kasper Schmeichel. He plays the ball out quick. His distribution of the ball is a lot faster when it's needed. There were times yesterday when he went to play the ball quick, and he's seen that his reading of the game for a young goalkeeper is absolutely phenomenal. He's a young goalkeeper that will go on to be his number 1 for his country. It's a case of how long can Celtic keep a hold of Sinisalo, because once he starts playing international football, all eyes will be on him as a goalkeeper, and there will be big clubs will come in. We need to get him in, being your number 1 goalkeeper now and for next season and going forward. I think that we've got a safe pair of hands in Sinisalo. Is he your number 1 goalkeeper? Is he the most improved player in the squad? It's hard to tell with goalkeepers. You can only really go on the performances of the player that he's taken over from. And has his performances in goal this season been way better than Kasper Schmeichel? Before you vote. And then we go to the final player of the poll this morning. And it's a player that frustrates the hell out of me. He's a player that frustrates the life out of quite a lot of people at Celtic, the fan base especially. He's played 19 matches this season. 19 matches. He's scored a good few goals since the winter window, even though he's been at Celtic. He's got a rating of around about 7.1 on FootMob. He struggled last season. He had a lot of inconsistency. He still does. Brendan Rodgers said last season, when he had a good 3-week period, that he was living life because his missus was over. We all knew what Brendan was getting at. This season, due to the fact that we've had players not living up to expectation, due to the fact that we've had the likes of Jota out injured, Balak Wisha was brought in. You remember Yang was sold in the summer to Birmingham. That deal fell through on the last day of the transfer window. The English window closed, slammed shut at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. And Celtic couldn't get the deal done in time. Even though Yang was in Birmingham and he'd signed the papers, he had done his medical, he'd done everything. But the inadequacies of the Celtic hierarchy made the deal fall through. And Birmingham City called out Celtic hierarchy at the time, publicly. Luckily for Celtic, he's came in this season. He's got his head down. He's one player that wanted away, and you could maybe say from his performances earlier on in the season, he doesn't want to be at Celtic. But he's upped his game. And I think that the turning point, strangely enough, the turning point for Yang this season was Wilfred Nancy. Dare we say it? Wilfred Nancy played Yang, gave Yang the most minutes that he had had up until that point in the season. Wilfred Nancy believed in Yang as a player and entrusted Yang in a position that he wasn't too familiar with, but he kind of excelled in. In come Martin O'Neill, and the consistency has been there with him. He has a good part of a game, he has a bad part of a game. But yesterday he got player man of the match award from a rotation player last season, for a player that wasn't really fancied at Celtic, was deemed not good enough, to being sold in the summer and the deal falling through. Is Yang the most improved player? Not player of the season we're talking about players that are improved. Usually we can, I mean, at the early part of the season, you would have said that Liam Scales was the most improved player. First part of the season, you would say that Liam Scales was going to be up there for the Player of the Season award. Quite rightly so, because his performances at the beginning of the season were probably the best in the squad. Really? Is it a hun? Bark twice if it's a zombie. But anyway, he struggled last season. He has come up with match-winning performances this season when it's mattered. Martin O'Neill, whatever Martin O'Neill says to Yang, whatever he says, it works. Now, is Yang the long-term answer at Celtic? I still don't think so. It shows you how far back we've came. But talking about players that have improved this season, is Yang up there out of the four? Let's jump into the poll. And we have had, in the first 13 minutes on a Sunday morning, we've had 164 votes. And Colby Donovan is away down in fourth position. Poor Colby, I think he's had a fantastic season. I think that people underestimate the level that you step up to, going from B team, especially because there's no reserve league, and this is what makes Colby Donovan's achievement so much sweeter for him. Playing in the Lowland League, where the standard of football isn't that great. Let's tell the truth. It's nowhere near the standard if we had a reserve league, because you would have first team players playing in that league on a regular basis to get them match fit. You're not getting bench warmers playing in a reserve league just to get their match fitness up, so that when they come onto the bench, I mean, when Oxlade-Chamberlain come into Celtic, if we had a reserve league, Oxlade-Chamberlain would have got 2 or 3 games in the reserve league first to get his match fitness up, so that when he stepped onto the pitch for Celtic, it would be a far better performances. But we're not talking about him, we're talking about young Colby Donovan sitting on 10%. Strange one, this one, but Liam Scales is sitting on 14%. Even though Scales had a fantastic first half of the season, dropped off slightly during the middle part, but he's picked it back up again. Liam Scales is sitting in third position at this point on 14%. So when it gets interesting, because Sinisalo is sitting in second position on 32% of the 180 people that have now voted. And then Yang is sitting on 44%. That's an interesting one. Because are we picking Yang just because of the goals that he's scored? Because there's big minutes in the game, a lot of moments in games where Yang's positional play, and it's interesting how you see how different people think. Because for me, I would have went with Liam Scales. I think that Liam Scales is the most overall improved player. Doesn't go missing in games. Can't go missing in games. Yang can go missing in games. Colby Donovan, the young and inexperienced, some of his crosses can be a bit wayward, but you know, as he gets more and more game time and his confidence levels don't need to go up that much. They're way up there anyway. The fact any player that can keep Tony Ralston isn't lacking in confidence. So um, Yang has that inconsistency. Sinisalo, you can only judge Sinisalo on what we've had all season, and that's been Kasper Schmeichel. So it's weird how people have voted on the poll. It's interesting to see, but I would have thought that Liam Scales would win it all day long, just because of the continuity of his continued level that he's played at. And does it show you how well Liam Scales has been playing this season that people do not recognise the small increments of performance levels that Liam Scales has had all season long to give him that consistency, to be trusted with the captain's armband. You know, but all people see is goals and they go, no, Yang's most improved because he scored goals. It's interesting. It is interesting. But anyway, good morning. What a start to a video, eh? Anyway, let's McManus. I'm going to jump into the comments now. This is a comment from yesterday, so a big shout out to who was it that posted it? CFC 6754. You got that comment yesterday. That was the last comment before the game yesterday, and I think that you were not bad with that one, weren't you? You pretty much called it right. I honestly didn't see us scoring 3 goals yesterday. I didn't. When you look at the performances of Motherwell over the last, I know that they got beat 2-0 from Dundee, but you expect a team to bounce back, and you've got to say Motherwell played absolutely fantastic football. Tony Ralston shout. I will jump into the comments. There's some cracking comments coming in. But anyway, what was I talking about? I need to change the news section. Oh yeah, the 3 goals yesterday. The fact that Celtic did manage to score 3 against Motherwell, they've not conceded 3 goals in a long time. Right, let's jump into the comments this morning. There's a super chat came in this morning. I haven't noticed it. Come on, St Mirren, make this weekend complete, says Celtic girl Jota. Make this weekend complete. The poll is most improved, Baz. Scales has been playing at a good level for 2 seasons now. Yang has improved from the previous manager. I think that if you look at the improvement in Scales, it's okay saying he's been playing at a good level, but when you look at the consistent little tweaks in Liam Scales' game, where he's not as rugged, he's not pulling the shirt as much as what he did last season. He's not giving away as many free kicks as he did last season. You've got to take all this into perspective, mate. So it's just it's all about opinions. It is all about opinions. That's why it's called the One Celtic Fans View, because it's just our view. It's just my view. Anyway, right, we jump into some of the comments this morning. Dundee could do an 86 tribute at Tynecastle this time next weekend to help put us top. Dundee, we'll wait and see. Yang hasn't improved. He's just getting more chances to play due to lack of options. This is going to be good going through the comments on this one. I voted Yang. He's brilliant at times. Said Yang, but he's still awful in parts. Drifts in and out like the first 30 yesterday. Yeah, he did that. It's and that's what I'm talking about. Each player that I picked for most improved this season have all had highs and lows. Do you know, Sinisalo not getting on the squad sheet when he should have? Sinisalo should have been number 1 goalkeeper for Celtic Could he have handled it halfway during the season? Would he have been as good? Would Celtic have been better? No, there's all these questions. But anyway, let's just stay with the comments. Yang for me says, Ray Ray, even when he isn't playing well, he doesn't hide. He gets stuck in. And he has he doesn't hide. If you look at the first 30 minutes of the game yesterday, I don't think he was hiding. I just think that his positional play at times is really, really poor. And I think yesterday, do you know what it comes down to as well? Is whoever's in midfield. Because yesterday Hatate was doing the pointy stuff. Nobody's pointing that out. But anyway, we move on. Yang and Benji Nigrin, the definition of great shit players all in one. Yang has improved, but sometimes doesn't look interested. Must admit, I really can't take skills seriously. Sorry. Really? That's interesting, because from the level that he was at when he first came to Celtic, for the level that he's at when he went to Aberdeen, a lot of Celtic fans said that Liam Scales was Aberdeen was his level. And how he's went, watch this, mate, I'll show you who's level. And Liam Scales is, but anyway. We will win this title with 7+ points in the end. Not a chance, mate. Not a chance. If whoever wins the league this year will win it with no more than 3 points. Mark my word for it. Somebody will take that in. Scales is a squad man. Number 4 centre back, nothing less, allowing standards to drop through the floor. Who in the squad plays before Scales then, right now? You can only play with the players that you've got. I think that's a bit of a crazy comment, mate. But anyway, it's your view. I'm going to say Scales, siege defender, can step into midfield, left back, leadership. He would cost 10 million to replace. Big statement, mate. And I think that to bring in someone of a equal, well, if you look at it, we paid 6 million for Austin Trusty. We paid 6 million 5 years ago for Cameron Carter-Vickers. Cameron Carter-Vickers, how many times has Scales been out injured over the course of the seasons that he's been at Celtic? I know he's been dropped from teams because managers have fancied other players, but Scales hasn't been injured as much as the other players, has he? So you're maybe right. It maybe would cost around about 10 million. That's a whole new dimension to the comment section when I get to the end of this one. This is our league to win now. Can see Sevco dropping points today. Let's hope that they do. What a result, what a weekend. Yep, a fantastic result last night for Celtic. It does maintain our position with just a few points behind. The question is, how much would it cost to replace Scales and get someone who does what he does? That's a cracking one. And who would come in to replace him? I mean, obviously, you would want someone to come through the ranks. Is Dane Murray the next player to step up after Scales? I know that a lot of fans dislike Dane Murray and they think that he's not good enough for Celtic, but I think he's another young player that's came through from the academy that can progress into the Celtic team in time. You know, if people are saying that Scales is a number 4 defender, you know, he's backup, well, that puts Dane Murray in that position also. But these are the players that you need at the club. You need club loving players. Let's put it that way. Peter King's in the house. Could it be the fact that he's scoring against the club he'll be playing for next season? Young Arthur is the real deal. Delighted for the young lad. Another strong performance. He wasn't at Celtic last year, and he's not going to be at Celtic this year, so he's not most improved player in the squad. I get what you're saying, mate. He's a cracking player, but I never see the point on bringing in players on loan to sell. We should be a club that we don't, although we've done it and we do it consistently. I think it's one of the things that's held back Celtic over the last 10 years is having to go out and get so many loan players rather than And it's always the case that the loan players that we bring in seem to do pretty well, but then they go back to their club and they sit and go, "Oh, I loved my time at Celtic," and then they never come back. I think Julian Araujo will probably be one of those in the summer. But then you see some of the players that we buy and we bring into Celtic are just nowhere near the level that's needed. But anyway, um, Schmeichel's time up, new career as a coach. Let's give him a dignified end to his career. Yeah, let's go out and win stuff for Schmeichel. If we can keep CCV fit next and getting another solid defender alongside him, I would see Scales as a reliable squad man. So that means you're dropping Austin Trusty. Interesting. And it's a big if we can keep Cameron Carter-Vickers fit. He's not been fit for 100% of a season since he came to Celtic. We have not had one full. People going about James Forrest's career at Celtic, and he's never had a good fit. He's never had a full fit season. Cameron Carter-Vickers is the same. He's not had a full season since he's been at Celtic. Sinisalo, our number one goalkeeper next year, brings an air of confidence to the defence. How much custard have you got for their crumble? I think I'll go and get some tarta de queso today, cheesecake. Or maybe apple pie. We'll get apple pie. We'll get some apple pie and take a picture of it and stick it on the channel. We just need to get through Dundee United, and then we have Engels, Callum, AJ, Osmond, Arocco, Trusty back fit. Let's just get to the international break and then see. I mean, it's okay having these players back, but when you're talking about game match fitness, they're going to be coming on and playing 60 minutes of games. It gives us a stronger squad, and it's at the perfect time. And are Celtic coming together at the right time of the season? Sinisal's got an assist yesterday. I'd love to buy Arthur. Shame he's tied up in their contract. Yep. Trusty's back for Dundee United. Yes, that was the final game in Trusty's ban. His 3-match ban. Casper will retire and move on. It's a no-brainer. Well, we all knew that Casper was going to leave the club at the end of this season anyway. He was only given the 2-year contract. There was no option. You remember it was a year plus an option of another year. There is no option of a third year for Kasper Schmeichel. Sinisalo will be fully expected to take the number one gloves next season. 2 excellent finishes from Yang yesterday. How many goals is Yang on for the season? I think it's 9, if I remember right. We've got options to buy in the wrong players, definitely. Yang has all the ability, definitely, but he has bad periods in games, and he always gets backtracking. Scores in pivotal games. Glad the boy is still here. Will he still be here in the summer? Or will Yang say, I wanted away last summer. I've had my time at Celtic. I've been here long enough. I want to go and try something new. Have I still conceded the league? No, because I didn't expect the implosion. I didn't expect Hearts to get beat yesterday. I don't think anyone did. Like Martin O'Neill said, it was Hearts. I did say at the time, it was Hearts' league to throw away, and Hearts are throwing it away. That's all that I said. It was Hearts' league. It was even Martin O'Neill said it. Martin O'Neill, when he came into Celtic, he said this is Hearts are in pole position. It's their league to throw away. So yeah, it might have came across of conceding the league. I think it was just a reality check at the time. I'm thinking the midfield three of Callum, Engels, Oxlade for both Rangers and Hearts at home. Can Oxlade Chamberlain? Would you have Oxlade Chamberlain in the holding midfield role? That's an interesting one. There's one thing for sure, we're going to have a lot more players back at that point. Let me see how the poll is doing, and if there's been any changes. Nope, Yang's still running away with it. Who's the most improved player this season? Colby Donovan. I feel sorry for the young lad. Down on 9%. That step up from the Lowland League to being a permanent first team player that gets on. He's probably been brought on more than he thought he was going to be this season. He's in fourth position with 9%. Liam Scales is in third position on 15%. Sinisalo's on 28%. And Yang's on 47% as most improved player this season. And Brian says he doesn't think that Yang is good enough. Let's get behind our team and let's get the double one. Yes, it's game on, isn't it? It's in Celtic's hands now. I mean, if we win, and you've still got to win the games that are in front of you. You know, and Hearts, surely, if you're a Hearts fan this morning, what a disaster they're having, aren't they? I mean, losing to Kilmarnock. Beating Kilmarnock isn't for everyone, is it? Surely Balak Pisha is in with a chance. Nope. No, Martin O'Neill said he's not going to get a game under Martin O'Neill. Martin O'Neill does not rate him at all. It's a bit unfair that Paul should be considered as a seasoned pro, not a bairn. Players can improve. Every player can improve during a season. It's a bit of a crazy one, that one. Because everyone starts off at a certain standard, and every player. You go back to when Brendan Rodgers was manager, and he would say that the players were at this level when they started, and he wanted the players to finish the season up there, which means every player had to improve during the season. Every player had to improve their fitness. Every player had to improve their pass rate. They had to improve every aspect of their game to get to where they wanted to at the end of the season. So I think it was quite fair to put Liam Scales in there. Because at the beginning of the season, Liam Scales, by a lot of fans, was deemed as player of the season. If you were calling it before Brendan Rodgers disappeared, you were saying that Scales was player of the season. Anyway, it is all about opinions. Yeah, now somewhat better defending. Where does it leave Carmen Carter-Vickers, Alistair Johnson and Schmeichel fit in? Now that we're somewhat better defending. That's an interesting one, because do you just bring Cameron Carter-Vickers back into this team? I mean, I would even say that Dane Murray, do you know, he's had a fantastic season. You've got the young boy Arthur that we've brought into the club. There's a lot of competition in defence. Do you know, when you look at the squad, we've got a massive choice in defence for a change. We've got 11 players registered as defenders. That's unheard of at Celtic. You know, usually we're struggling with. Last year, I think we were struggling with six players for defence. You've got Alistair Johnson, you've got Liam Scales, you've got Trusty, you've got Carmen Carter-Vickers, Rocco, Sriracha, Arthur, Dane Murray, Colby Donovan, Tony Ralston, and Kieran Tierney. Tierney's having a fantastic season. Tierney's crosses at games, you could tell that Tierney's has always been a top class player. The only one player, I mean, people talk about Deadwood and stuff. The only player, but there's three players you're going to lose out of that in the summer. You're going to lose Julian Araujo in the summer. You're going to lose Benjamin Arthur in the summer. And I think that Tony Ralston, coming into the final year of his contract at Celtic, will have a decision to make. Celtic will have a decision to make. Do they take some money for Tony Ralston? And does Tony Ralston go, do you know what? I want to. Does Tony Ralston want to stay at Celtic? I would say that he does. He's came through the system at Celtic. So he wants to try and achieve what James Forrest and Callum McGregor's done before him. He came through the system the exact same time as Kieran Tierney. Kieran Tierney went away and made his millions, whilst Tony Ralston stayed at Celtic and just plodded on. Do you retain the services of Tony Ralston? People think that Tony Ralston's not a fantastic player. Tony Ralston finished the game yesterday with a big smile on his face as he got almost the last kick of the ball and he taken a shot at goal. And he's walking about Celtic Park going, got yous there, didn't I? It would have been absolutely hilarious if Tony Ralston had got that one in the back of the net from long range. But when you look at it, I think Celtic will pay the 1.5 million for Sriracha. When we start next season, the new manager will be coming in with Alistair Johnston, Liam Scales, Austin Trusty, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Dane Murray, hopefully Marcelo Sriracha, Colby Donovan, Tony Ralston and Kieran Tierney as the defenders. Will Celtic reduce the squad slightly? Because you've basically got 4 players for one position, and that's Alistair Johnston's position. It's interesting. We know that we brought in Julian Araujo because Alistair Johnston was injured. Colby Donovan just wasn't up at the level required, although game by game he's gaining that experience. Tony Ralston was Tony Ralston. He'll run through brick walls for you, but we know that the level that Tony Ralston's at. It's going to be interesting this summer. Let's jump back into some more of the comments. Hats off to Yang. He never hides. He's shown good mental strength. Some people say it is. Sinisalo most improved for Mr. Squeak. Cabo Roig, mate. Cabo Roig in Costa Blanca. That's where it is. Fantastic part of the world. Scales number 1. I hope you don't mean his goalkeeper. It would be the best league win in a right few years, especially this crazy season. Would this, if Celtic win the league, I'm not going to say that we will because it's disrespectful to the teams that are around us, with 8 games to go. If Celtic do win the league, this will be up there with the league win of 1986. A lot of people were not born that follow Celtic. A lot of people that are in certain sections of the ground at Celtic Park, both areas of grounds actually, the ground at Celtic Park, were not even alive when 1986 happened. Having had it, what they call in football in easy mode, Celtic have had it pretty much in easy mode. You know, there's not been a lot of competition. But this year, it's got to be said, we've cried out for competition. We've got competition. The big question next season will be, can Hearts maintain that level? And will Rangers go out and spend 40 million like they did this year? Can they maintain the spending level? Let's hope they don't get into the Champions League, or they will. I'm going to jump through some more of these comments. We're going to jump straight to the end of the comments. Apologies for not reading them all. AJ off after next season. Dump CCV. Sign Araujo and Sriracha. I think we'll sign. I think that Alistair Johnston, he'll not be sold this summer. You think he'll be sold after next season? I don't know. Sriracha was in goals at half-time warm-up yesterday. He would overtake Casper. Ay. And in 08, we won the last. Where did that comment go to? In the 2008 season, we won the last 7 games in a row to snatch the title. We did that. I don't watch sports scene, mate, so can't comment on it. I don't watch biased television punditry. And I've seen enough of it during the end of the game last night. I think I put it on Facebook, the video of a certain fat Boyd not happy, saying that he should have dived. Ian says, honestly, I thought we were out of the running at points this season, so it'll be one of the best for me if we win this league. Yeah. And I think that when Wilfred Nancy left Celtic and Martin O'Neill came in, Martin O'Neill never thought that, I mean, he obviously knew that he had it within him, but Martin O'Neill also thought, this team is not a great team. I don't think I can get us winning the league. Martin O'Neill even said to Dermot Desmond, I might get sacked before the end of the league season because of the results, because this team's not a great team. And Dermot Desmond just said, yeah, could happen, yeah. There's no encouragement at all from Dermot Desmond. Even he knows how bad this team is. If this team wins the league, will this be the worst Celtic? There's a poll question for you. Tell me in the comments, the last 5 minutes of this video, could this be the worst Celtic team ever to win a league title? Tell me that one in the comments section, and we'll see what you think. If we win the league, we deserve it. Yeah, this is true. Celtic will win the double. Very confident. What Celtic have over other teams is winning mentality, togetherness, and I will. And we're going to get the players back. That's for sure. So. Some folk just love to hate our players. It's crazy. I love watching the Hundentry, the fake Hun tears. A few yeses coming in for could this be the worst Celtic team? I mean, I don't think so. Is this team worse than Ronnie Dyler's team? Is that what we're saying? It's an interesting one, huh? Few yeses. Yes. Let's get the yeses up. Yes. Get rid of McCowan, Hatate, inconsistency, diabolical, both consistently losing the ball. Hatate will be gone in the summer anyway, and McCowan will be a squad player next year. Yes. Well, average players, but have been playing as a team some great football. What? Some great football from Celtic this year? We started, what a season we've had. We started the season off playing side to side, pass back football under Brendan Rodgers. This is bonkers. When we sit down at the end of the season, no matter what happens, and we tell the story of the season, it will be a story that started off way back in pre-season with a manager and captain that were begging the board for players. Way back in July last year, the captain and the manager begging the board to get players in. We needed strengthening. We then had side to side passing football under Brendan Rodgers that the fans detested. Brendan Rodgers made Callum McGregor turn into Mr. Pointy, and he didn't like the fact that he wasn't getting in. Anyway, he left. They brought back Martin O'Neill, who gave us a little bit of hope, who got us kind of winning games. And then we were let down by the Celtic hierarchy again this season. Not for the first time. They let us down badly in the summer. And they let us down again when they went out and brought in Wilfred Nancy, who then decided to change the season completely and change the formation that the team was playing in, take a what had been previously a winning formation and just rip up the rule book and say, no, this is the way we're playing, and if we lose games, it doesn't matter because it'll come good in the end. And Wilfred Nancy was chased after 33 days. And then Martin, who was down drinking his coffee, picks up his phone and says, oh, no, again, really? What is it, Dermot? I know that Wilfred Nancy's shite. I told you he was going to... Oh, right, okay, I'll be up the road tomorrow. Book me a train. Right, cheers, bye. For fuck's sake. I've gone back to Glasgow then. If we go to Germany... Then we went to Germany and we won. Anyway, and Martin O'Neill has completely just steadied the ship. not only steadied the ship, but got us wins in Europe this season with the same bunch of rubbish players that we've had all season. It's absolutely bonkers. Um, I've just said I don't think that we are consistent enough or good enough to win this league. I still think it's up for grabs for the three, but we have the momentum now. I think that I would argue that we do have the consistency. Do you know, taking the Hibs game out of the games that we've had, going to Ibrox twice, coming from behind the Ibrox, 2-0 down at half time. We've seen Celtic teams collapse over the years, being 2-0 down at Ibrox, end up getting beat 4 or 5-1 or something. Martin O'Neill turned that round. I think that we underestimate, and I've said this before, whoever comes in the summer has not only got a massive job to follow. This is, and do you know, this is Gordon Strachan all over again going into this summer. You know, you could bring in a high-profile manager. Gordon Strachan was deemed as a high-profile manager, but you've got to live up to the expectations that you've got to follow on from Martin O'Neill. You know, Martin O'Neill is our Alex Ferguson. I know that Fergie won everything that he did in the game, but Martin O'Neill's won everything that he's won in football. Martin O'Neill won the Champions League twice with Nottingham Forest as a player. Martin O'Neill is our Alex Ferguson. I said it. Anyway, probably get slated for saying that, but I don't care. Are we being unfair on Ronnie Dyler? Yes. Yes. History shows that Ronnie Dyler was unlucky not to win a treble. History shows people that went to games during the time. Bus conveners will tell you that. You speak to any bus convener that was running a bus during the Ronnie years, and they will say it was the best time ever to run buses. You got as many tickets as you wanted, you got to run as big buses as you wanted, and you know, it was a fantastic time for away games. Absolutely brilliant, apart from Europe. Shite in Europe. I always remember being behind the goals in Malmo, and it was, yeah. But anyway, right, we move on. Unless we win the league, all these players' bonuses should be Honda Civics. Baz told you at half time the boys own the second half. Bag this season. Bag this season. If we do a double, I would contribute to a statue for the great, great Martin O'Neill. What a fitting way it would be for Martin O'Neill to really go into retirement. I mean, I know that he's been retired for around about 6 years. He hasn't managed a club, but he's been doing his punditry and all the rest of it. But to come in and to don the tracksuit again, and the first tracksuit he tried on, and he went, "What the fuck's this tight, nonsensical, shitty material stuff? Get me a proper tracksuit, Adidas." And they did. And they did. It has the potential. I mean, we've got the wind in our sails, as they say. I mean, my coffee's fucking cold again, isn't it? Every day. Cold coffee. We do have the wind in our sails. I honestly can't wait till the next transfer window again. Yes. I can't wait for the daily comments of, "They're fucking posting this for it's just speculation. Stop posting speculation. Just post when a player signs." Oh, wait till this summer. It's going to be fantastic. Speculation is going to be through the roof. It's going to be 60,000 trackies in paradise at the end of the season, hopefully. Oh, not another penny campaign goes completely kaput. It's like riding a bike. Martin O'Neill knows what he's doing, and that doesn't leave you. What an analogy. But it doesn't, does it? I mean, good managers are good managers. I don't mind cold coffee. Right, anyway, that is me done and dusted for this morning. Thank you to everyone who has been on. Let me see what the poll is doing. We do love a poll on the channel. And it's only, I'm quite disappointed actually, because we've had over 2,300 people on this morning, and we've only had 357. Now, I know a lot of you watch it on your television. I know a lot of you watch the channel on your television. There's nothing wrong with picking up your phone and you're watching it on the television and log in on your phone and vote. But you don't, you just watch it on your telly. YouTube's brilliant. Anyway, yes, and I do know these things because the stats tell us. Anyway, the question was, who is the most improved player this season? Is it Sinisalo? Is it Liam Scales? Is it Colby Donovan? Or is it Yang? In fourth position is Colby Donovan on 9%. In third position is Liam Scales on 16%. Second place is Sinisalo on 28%, and up front is Yang on 46%. I think fans are boycotting your poll, Baz. It's not, it's just it's because they watch it on telly, and to be fair, you can't really vote in the poll on television. It's nothing to do with boycotting, it is just facts is facts, I'm afraid. And the stats on YouTube tells us that the majority of people watch the channel on television. Strange days, change days. I can remember when the majority of people watched this channel on their phone and computer. Anyway, that's how long I've been doing this shit. Have a fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are all around the world.